This episode of the Danny Toddcast is brought to you by Absolute Aid CBD. Absolute Aid provides physical and mental aid for those who work hard and play harder. Whether you're trying to focus on the job or you need some pain relief after a long, grueling day in the outdoors hiking, hunting, riding, or running, they want to help you perform at your very best. Whether you're climbing mountains or moving them, Absolute Aid CBD is here for all of your life's pursuits. So get 10% off of your order at absoluteaid.com with the promo code TODCAST10. That's 10% off Absolute Aid with promo code TODCAST10. Absolute Aid, for those who seek to do more.
The Danny Toddcast. Podcast.
What is up? It's the boy. Yeah. I'm still here, baby. How's it going, everyone? I'm back. I was gone for too long. Too long. Towards the end, I was like, shit, I can't wait to record an episode. I hope I still know how to even do all this shit. So luckily, I just sat down and I was like, okay, cool. Plug in, turn it on. We're still good. Not really much to forget, but I felt like I was gone for so long. I mean, almost an entire month from, going on tour for a little over 2 weeks, then a little over a week with my family, visiting my family back home. And, usually I'm doing an episode of the podcast every week, at least one a week. So to go almost a month without doing a podcast, I was like, one, I miss that because I enjoy doing this. And also I was like, shit, I hope people didn't think I fell off because, it happens a lot, especially with podcasting. You do it and then out of nowhere, boom, you're like, either you just can't swing it anymore or you just, don't like it. But, there's a huge drop off for podcasting. And especially when you're on the lower tier of it, unlike Joe Rogan and all those people. But anyways, I'm here. I'm still doing the podcast. Don't have any plans to go back on tour really anytime soon, unless it's just an offer I cannot refuse. But yeah, I'm back and it feels good. It's just weird being home in front of my computer was with me on tour, but my rig, my microphone, all this stuff, it feels kind of weird, but also it feels amazing. So welcome back. Not sure how long this episode's going to be. Probably not too long. Kind of just wanted to get something out to you guys and just talk a little bit about my tour. It's not going to be anything crazy, but I had a pretty good time. It was my first tour back since, 2019, October with Nothing More. So it's been a couple years. So, first couple days, first couple days, I kind of had to shake off the cobwebs, because I've been living not on I haven't been in a tour bus living with 11 other people in a little rocket on wheels, So that was an adjustment. I mean, I sleep like an absolute baby in a tour bus. So when I'm home, especially I don't work at the place I was at before I left for tour, but my body clock was just banging at 6:30, 6:45, 6:30 in the morning, wake up. Usually it's always waking up before my alarm clock. But so the first day of the tour, rolling into day one of the shows, I think we're driving from somewhere Los Angeles area to San Diego. And I was up at 6:30, watched, because we were almost there at that point. I think we had 2 hours left on the drive. So I was up and then just kind of enjoying the scenic views. Is that a way of saying that? I don't know. I haven't seen the ocean in forever, so that was my first time seeing the ocean in a year, it was pretty awesome. But yeah, that was the only day that I actually woke up at my normal time. Usually, or not usually, but the rest of the tour, I was in my bunk no earlier, or I was I was in my bunk no later than like definitely didn't hit noon, but there were some times where I was in there like pushing 11, like getting out of my bunk at 11. And I think I will say, I mean, I wasn't super proud of it, but then again, some people were still in their bunks by that time. But I think what I can attest to it is when the bus is still moving and you like wake up. I don't know about you guys, but like I love a sound machine. So a sound machine already is amazing. But then you add like the movements of the bus, and it's not super crazy unless you're hitting like some gnarly ass potholes and shit. Like then it's a little rough. But like I don't know. I just the bump, just the constant kind of like like a baby. They're just like in that little bassinet thing that keeps moving. And then you add some sounds, you're out. So naturally, when I wake up at a decent human hour, and we are basically the entire tour because we were support and we just the times of where one the routing was fucking stupid. The routing didn't make any sense. I don't know. I've been on worse tours with the routing, but that was insane. And that's not. I mean, that's got out of the band's control and stuff. I mean, it was just wonky and it was weird, and we always got there like I don't know. It was ridiculous. Anyways, nothing I can control. Yeah, we're still moving when I wake up at like a decent human hour, and I'm like, well, we're still going. And then naturally, I'll just like fall back asleep. Before you know it, it's like 10:30, 11. I'm like, well, all right, we're about to be at the venue, so I'll get up and get my shit together. Which is not that hard. Usually my batteries are always charged for my camera. It's basically ready to go. The only thing that I really would have to do is go inside, talk with our merch girl, be like, hey, where are we doing VIP? Mainly, I would have to look for it because I don't know. Apparently, that was what I had to do. Fucking, I don't know. Anyways, I'm not trying to rag on anyone. It was annoying. I hate doing VIP. It's so annoying. But I will say it was nice seeing like Nita talking with the fans because she would not shy away from any question, and they always had some really good questions and stuff like that. And I learned more about her. But it's just the whole fact of I'm down with taking photos. The other parts, like getting a lot, like just line up here, all that stuff. Like I don't like doing that. So yeah, I'd have to just go in, kind of scope the area, talk to maybe our tour manager, be like, yo, where are we doing it? All right, cool. Eventually I'll set up the lights and then do that. And I charge a GoPro for the drum cam. And then, I don't know, just kind of hang around, have my camera, sound check, all that fun stuff. That part, it's nothing really new to me. I mean, I've even done photos for, like a Mice and Men. I've done the VIP meet and greet and stuff like that. But with that, even, it was like, I'm with the band mainly the entire time. I'm not having to worry about setting anything up. Like, the lighting part, I'm totally cool with because that's not hard at all. But, like, I would just roll in with the guys and basically the merch person had everything set up, like location, all that shit. But I understand it's a different camp, I think it might have been her first VIP running it. Anyways, yeah, normally I think each, day to day was pretty simple. It's nothing out of the norm of what I've been used to with touring. Obviously, like I said, I had to shake off the cobwebs a little bit the first couple days just because, one, I haven't been on tour for 2 years. Also, I don't know anyone in that entire band. Like, first time, like flying into rehearsals the night before the first show was the first time meeting all of them. The only person that I actually knew was Drew, our tour manager, because I've been on tours with him, Warped Tour, even my first tour with Jeffree Star back in 2012, he was with someone else and mutual friends and stuff. And we didn't really figure that out, put 2 and 2 together until that first day. And we're like, wait a sec, or maybe not the first day. Actually, it might have been the first night when he was there in Reno. Shout out to Drew. You're badass. He's out with, I don't know who he's out with right now, but he left or finished a tour with A$AP Rocky and then came to ours. So he's doing big shit. Love that guy. He definitely is a great tour manager. Yeah, as far as the tour went, it was good. One thing that's just it threw me off, and it's just I've always toured with bands that have vocalists, and that was, I mean, I think they had some stuff on there for like talking bits and whatnot, and I think they do one song that I believe is a cover, so the keyboardist Kat will sing, stellar voice, but it was just, it was weird is not the right word to say, I guess, but it was just different because I'm used to like, especially having cues for songs and stuff. There's the screams, there's this, there's blah, all that fun shit. But when there's not, and especially with how her songs are, by the way, Nita is an incredibly talented guitar player. Absolutely insane. She shreds the gnar. So it was very impressive. Like listening to the songs, like I try my best to listen to the songs while I'm doing it, but I'm so zoned in and trying to just get the shots that like I try and just focus on my own thing. So that was also kind of a thing when I'm talking about the cues of the vocalist and singing, screaming, breakdown vocals. It is something that I can kind of cue myself in the head. That's a weird way of saying that. Give myself a cue of like, okay, I know what's happening right now. I know what's about to happen. And also, the bands that I've toured with have been bands that I've actually have listened to before. Most of them because I've just toured with them and I just end up liking their music, or I just, by editing videos, I have to, not have to, but I get to listen to their songs, just repeat. So I get used to it. But when there's no vocals and it's just absolute, just, how do I say? I'm trying to say it in the best way possible because I was going to say chaos, but maybe like controlled badassery chaos, I guess. I don't know. Insane music. I just want to make sure that's coming across, that incredible music. All of them, all the musicians, the guitar players and keyboardists, everyone, they're all, very talented. So great music. It was just different for me not having any vocals, and it was basically just, it was just instrumentals. Oh, forgive me. They do have one song, another one. So 2 songs with vocals. They just played it on a backtrack. I believe it's the song "Dead to Me." So Nita, and then, Nita's band, song "Dead to Me" with the guy from Disturbed. I'm blanking on his name, but if you want to listen to it, it's so easy to find. You probably just type in Nita "Dead to Me." Let me just make sure. Let me make sure that I'm on this tab here. Nita Strauss. Dead Inside. Did I say Dead to Me? Dead Inside. Dead Inside with David Draymond of Disturbed. Yeah. Badass. So that was cool. But yeah, it was different. Doing the instrumental stuff, it was just interesting. I feel like it was maybe a little harder for me to catch on to the songs because there's no vocal cues. But something that something that did happen a few times within the VIP meet and greets, people would ask about like songwriting process and stuff like that. And the short of it is basically like, you have to have a story that you want to have with the song, start with the story. Hopefully I'm getting this right. Start with the story that you want to portray, and then you start writing the music to the story. And I'm sure that's a lot for majority of musicians. And of course, I'm sure there's the bands out there that just like, we want to write just write something. Like, doesn't have to mean shit. We can figure that out later, whatever. Hey, whatever. To each their own. But what she was saying is, and like I said, I hope I'm getting this right. I don't think maybe I need to review video footage. Maybe I caught it on camera, but yeah, start with the story that you want to portray. And then, you start writing how you want the song to go to further along that story and make it a cohesive piece and a finished story. So towards the end, started to get familiar a little bit with, the songs, which was cool. Not only just because I want to find the vibe of the song, but I also need to, okay, in this song at this point, she usually does like this, or, unfortunately, because of her knee, which is apparently doing really good. I think I just saw she posted an Instagram photo of her doing a huge jump out with Alice Cooper right now. So apparently it's doing good, which is awesome. I'm stoked to see that. But there wasn't any crazy jumps, but there's certain hair flips and headbangs, and she does these really cool moves with like her guitar going on. I don't even know how you'd call it. It's not even I guess it would be a guitar flip, but not your standard one that like, goes around the world all the way around your body. She does like this weird, I don't even know how to describe it. You could probably look it up, but she definitely has some great stage presence. And I mean, it's not that hard to find videos. You can look it up. So there was just cues that I would try and figure out within, like, okay, cool, she does that here. So I want to try and make sure I get that shot. And, with the, say, of Mice and Men or, certain bands, I know generally what's going to happen. Especially like with the Mice and Men, like they're not really doing guitar, spins anymore. That was a long, long time ago. So I don't really have to worry about that. But okay, I know this song. The breakdown is about to happen. I need to go over to Phil because his hair, his hair looks insane while he's doing this certain kind of headbanging. Okay, cool. Oh, this part for Tina. Okay, cool. Like, I need to go up there. But yeah, yada, yada, yada. So part of the process of learning these songs and trying to figure out all these cues is so I can get the footage that I want to get, So I think I did pretty well, especially, being out of the tour game for 2 years. Like, I'm pretty happy with what I was able to create. I think the only thing that kind of maybe helped me back is just the computer, the power of my computer. It's 2000, I believe, 2015. It's MacBook Pro. I mean, it's maxed out on everything, I believe, but it's still 2015, and I've been pushing that shit hard. It's seen tours for that many years, and After Effects, podcasts, just pushing it to the limit. And I definitely was getting frustrated with it. Like, I think I could definitely do more with a higher powered computer. I feel like that makes sense, but there's a lot of effects that I like to do, especially in After Effects. And I was like, dude, there's no fucking way that my computer's going to let me do it. I need to make sure that I can get out at least 2 videos, 1 per week, right? I need to make sure that I can get these videos out. And I'm proud. I'm pretty stoked on the ones that I did. The second one, I think maybe a little bit more of my favorite. I think it was everyone else's favorite as well. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy. It is what it is, and on to the next, and it's a learning experience. It was a different style, and I think the episode I did before leaving, I think it was just called Back on the Road, episode 163. I think you can look. It's not the one with Robbie. Maybe we talked about it, but I would say the one before. Let me make sure that's correct here. Episode 163. I'm going back on tour. I kind of brought up that what I wanted to kind of accomplish with my work, more of like an art piece sort of deal. And I think I stayed true to that. Obviously, you kind of have a certain idea of what you want to do with your work, and then you have to, once you're with the band and you do certain things, you have to adapt. So that's what I did. And now, same with the photos. I mean, Nita's the main person, but she is the band. That was my priority. Of course, I wanted to get everyone photos, but I was like, Nita is my priority. And after the first day, I was like, she was very happy with my shots, but she gave me notes, I'm pretty much always with an all male band, and, the veins and all these, oh shit, I almost just spilled out of my chair. Why did I say spilled out of I almost fell out of my chair. Why did I say spill? Jeez Louise. Yeah, she gave me notes, and she's like, don't shoot me like a guy. Like there was one shot that I had that was really cool. It was more of a closer up of like the guitar and like maybe just her hand. And, when your hand is naturally in a down, like I think it was, so not her left hand on the neck of the guitar, but the strumming hand, just by your hand being down and, well, obviously doing fucking insane picking, there was some veins in her hand that were just naturally popping. Not anything crazy, but with the lighting and the shadows and the way I took the photo and the editing, it looked not aggressive, but it looked a little much. So she was like, hey, like, like this kind of stuff I don't really like. And by the way, I'm not trying to paint her as like being picky or like super like, I understood it right away. And I made that shift. And she even noticed like next day, she's like, yeah, you're good. Didn't want things cut off, which is especially guitars. I mean, there's a whole thing with, composition. And sometimes, I mean, fuck, I've had like half of a guitar cut off and I thought it was badass. And I'm sure some people don't even bat an eye, but especially being like a signature artist for Ibanez, I'm pretty sure you're trying to sell a guitar as well. You want to show off your guitar. So that was one adjustment I had to make. And I totally understand it. But that's going into the thing. You have an idea of kind of what you want to accomplish with, mainly more with your video stuff. The photos is easy to just, go with it. Whatever they need, do it, tweak your shit, like maintain your style, of course. But like, hey, like you don't want your guitars cut off on the sides or the bottom or, the top of the head or the head, I guess. I don't know. Understand. Cool. Easy. Nothing wrong with that. So I will say, hey, if there's anyone out here trying to become like a touring photographer, obviously stay true to yourself and your style and whatnot. Depending, I did say that video is definitely more on the creative side for me. So I had a lot more leeway. I think I only had to make one change in one of the videos. And I guess I understood it. But with photos, that's something that is so just, it's easy to just make those adjustments. All I had to do is kind of just shoot a little wider than I want. And then I can kind of crop in a little bit. It's only going to Instagram. It's obviously going to be high quality. I'm shooting at, large and a raw format. So like it's good quality no matter what. But shoot a little wider. You can crop in. It's harder to, and I tried to do it where you're kind of zoomed in. Say I'm on my 24 to 105, I believe. Yeah, 24 to 105. If I'm zoomed in almost at 105 or something, and I'm trying to get her doing like a headbanging shot with her hair going all cool and crazy, it's going to be hard to not have anything cut off from the bottom of the guitar to, hair going up. So I adjusted, zoomed out a little bit, and then I can kind of frame my shot. It changes the look a little bit, but hey, I want to make sure that this band, especially, Nita being the front, she gets what she wants. So what I was saying is, if anyone is listening and you want to become, a touring photographer, or you are and you just are trying to pick up, I don't know, any notes, if they haven't asked you on any like tweaks or hey, like I just don't like this, don't shoot that, or like maybe, well, don't cut off my guitar stock or whatever, you can always ask them too. I think that'll go a long way because some people might not tell you. You could be shooting 1,000, which I do. I usually average at least 1,000 photos a night, right? And I will end up with 20 to 40 final images, depending on if I have a good night, closer to 40, and standard, 15 to 20, right? Well, if there's no conversation, they might just be getting photos that they're like, well, I guess I'll post it. Chances are they're going to be stoked on it, but what's going to make that difference between you being the person that's on the tour, actually working with the band, with them every single day, versus the person that's only there for that one show for the first 3 songs. They don't have the opportunity. I guess they could on, Instagram DM or Twitter DM or something like that to be able to ask them like, hey, like, what kind of photos do you like? What's a note that you can give so people can get that better photo? And maybe people have already done that. I don't know. I don't think I have, but it's a great idea. But you can also, if you're on the tour, and I know I'm rambling, I haven't been on a podcast for a month, so bear with me. I'm sorry if I'm motor mouthing. Ask them, like, hey, what do you like? What do you not like? Suggestions, all that stuff. I think it could go a long way. So I thought that was really cool. Shout out to Nita. That was awesome. Shout out to her just for, having me on the tour. If she is listening to this, thank you, Nita. I enjoyed working with you very, very much. And I'm glad that you liked my work. uh, yeah. Overall, good tour. Fun meeting some new people. It's always great to kind of broaden your friend work group and just new connections and stuff like that. And obviously Drew, our tour manager, I've known him for a while and haven't seen him in God, I have no idea, just years for sure, over 5 at least. And reconnect and have fun and kind of have those things to like look back on and talk shit on about the past. It's super fun. The only bummer was that it did end for us a little early. I know that Nita did do the last show in Alabama, I think. It was, Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah, unfortunately, where were we? I forget where we were. But Zakk, he lost his voice one night and the show got canceled. And then we ended up playing just like a headlining set, which was cool. So saved the show, got to do a headlining set. And then we had 3 days off because 2 shows got canceled. And then we just had a day off scheduled. So we spent like 3 days in Nashville. And then, more shows got canceled. And they're like, well, hey, we need it's just burning money. You got to pay the company to have the bus. You got to have a room for the bus ride, the hotel room for the bus driver, which obviously is a couple to a few $100 a day. Obviously, you need gas to run the generator. You're paying crew no matter what. If it's a day off, show canceled, like no matter what, like as long as the people are out with you, you're getting paid. So at that point, it was just burning money. And I guess they made the decision. I got woken up by a text by Nita. She's like, hey, come chat. And I was like, fuck, what did I do? Because we went out downtown Nashville and I don't know, everyone was having drinks and stuff. And I was like, shit, what did I didn't black out, but maybe brown out a little bit. I don't know. I didn't really do much, but I was like, man, what did I do? Did I do something wrong or something? I thought I was getting just canned, which I don't know why. I don't know. I just literally woken up. So I was just thinking the worst. But basically she was just telling me that, they're getting rid of the bus. And they're going to go to her house, I think, in Louisiana, I think. I'm not quite sure. But basically that night the bus was going to go bye-bye. And they were going to figure out what they were going to do about like the last show or shows, So basically from waking up, within an hour, I was stepping off of the tour bus at the Nashville airport, which is crazy. Luckily, I don't live like a complete slob and I didn't have anything crazy like all over my bunk and stuff like that. So my packing was pretty easy. I was just a little hungover, so that sucked. So I'm like, we're driving. I have my suitcase in the back lounge. I'm like cleaning up, putting shit away, folding my laundry back into the suitcase because it was just a whirlwind in there. And hungover, I'm sweating. It was brutal, dude. And then I had to wait at the airport for like 5 hours before my flight boarded. But hey, it's part of the gig. The unexpected happens all the time, and that's what it was. But you know what? It was a great a little over 2 weeks, so it was good. I had fun. It has its ups and downs, but that's tour, especially. I mean, life, but especially tour. I feel like something I always say on tour, and it's not specific to this. It's just any tour I've ever been on. Kind of something I just, not a motto, but like I just find myself saying it a lot. Like never a dull moment. There's never a dull moment. You could, even though there's some days where you're bored, you're still in a different state. Something's happened to someone. Just got to roll with the punches. But yeah, bummer that it ended short because I would have loved to, create some more content. But I'm happy that they at least got to hit that last show in Birmingham, Alabama with Zakk Wylde. By the way, I do have, if you want to check their stuff out, I will have, a click-through link for their Instagrams. But Nita's, yeah, shit, sorry, that brain fart. Hurricane Nita at Hurricane Nita on Instagram, and then Zakk Wylde BLS on Instagram. Like I said, if you want to check them out and maybe some of the work that I did, it's on her page, and the cool shit she's doing with Alice Cooper overseas at the moment. You can check that out. Just click through and it's easy for you. So, yeah, not really too much else to kind of talk about. There was some other things, but now that I'm like going through and talking about it and seeing that I'm about 30 minutes in, I'm like kind of pointless to talk about it. Maybe I'll save it for my next one. I'll say play. We'll see, because it'll be relevant. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, listening to me babble, probably talking way too fast. I had some cold brew coffee and it's kicking my ass because I'm pretty bad at like waiting to eat first before I have coffee. So like just running a million miles an hour. So, but yeah, I'm still here. The podcast, the Danny Toddcast, is still rolling back to at least, one a week, what we are all used to. Thanks for just sticking with me, and not, hopefully you didn't think that I was out for the count with the podcast and shit, because I ain't leaving. Alrighty, well, I will catch you probably, at least next week. I don't know. I'm waiting for my friend to hit me back up. She just wrote a book, my friend from back home. So we're trying to figure it out, what dates and stuff. She's working on a release for her book. So when that happens, I will definitely have her on. But regardless, I will catch you next week. All right, take care, everyone. Peace.
The Danny Toddcast. Podcast.